Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Draw Talk. In this one we're going to be doing some kind of review on a pencil that a lot of you might have already heard of or even used yourself. It's called the Blackwing 602, and so this pencil for some people is considered the best pencil in the world, and today hopefully we're going to find out why. Of course, that's right after this intro. So here it is, this is the Palomino Blackwing 602, and you're probably wondering what's so special about this one pencil, and so for you to really understand that, I sort of need to give you a bit of history behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some real-time footage on screen of the last drawing that I did from the previous video, where I created that drawing only using this one pencil, and so as that's on screen I can go ahead and give you a bit of background on how this pencil came to be. If you haven't watched the last video, go ahead and watch that because you'll see all of that drawing in time lapse. Also, if you're not that interested in the history side of things and perhaps you care more about the performance of this pencil, I'll go ahead and leave a timestamp in the description so you can just jump to that section of the video. But other than that, let's get right into this. So after a long time of hesitating whether or not to buy one of these, I finally gave in and decided to test it out. I've heard a lot of people speak highly of them, and so I wanted to know if I could really benefit from using this pencil compared to what I normally use, like a set of Faber-Castells for instance. And so I think it's best to start by giving a brief history of the pencil. It came about in 1934 and it was produced by the Eberhard Faber Pencil Company. Stamped on the side of the pencil opposite the brand mark was the slogan "half the pressure, twice the speed," and it was said that the 602 was not only smooth and soft but also lasted longer than most pencils because the lead didn't wear down as quickly, and so in turn it became a popular tool for many artists and writers. Eventually over time the pencil was acquired by a few companies, one notably being Faber-Castell, and it went through some rebranding, but the title Blackwing 602 has always remained. In 1994 there was only a few in production, and because the volume was so low they decided to stop the production and sell through the remaining stock until it was finally discontinued in 2008. Now all of a sudden, because they stopped producing these pencils, it meant that it was a lot harder to get hold of them, and there was a lot of people that relied on these as their favourite tool to use, and all of a sudden they just couldn't go down to the shop to buy some more. And so like what usually happens in these types of situations, it meant that the demand was higher and so the prices went up, and then we had people paying like $40 just for one of these pencils, and they just carried on becoming more rare. So as you can imagine, there was a high demand for these pencils until 2008 came along, and then there was this company called California Cedar Products who acquired the pencil brand and reintroduced the Blackwing 602 in June 2011. And this is what I have here today. Now there was a big worry about how this pencil might not be the same as the original, however a lot of people actually claimed that it was new and improved and that this one performed the exact same if not better. You can see how the pencil still has its catchphrase along the side. It has the replaceable eraser with its unique design. Overall it's pretty much identical, but now I'm going to talk about the performance and whether or not this deserves to be titled as one of the best pencils available. And so I continuously used this pencil over the last week, drawing every day, just creating realistic drawings. I was creating some basic line work, writing with it, and even creating some architectural work. I've used a lot of different pencils over the years that I have been drawing, and I've noticed a few subtle differences, but nothing that really drastically changes the result on the paper. I was interested to see how this would perform. Is this the game changer? Find out in the next episode. It's worth me saying that one of the first things I noticed as soon as I put pencil to paper is how truthful the phrase on the side of the pencil actually is. You don't really have to apply much pressure to get down the pencil marks you are after. And we know that through the process of drawing we commonly change the pressure we apply with the pencil to get loads of different tones and values, and that's the same with the Blackwing 602, however not as much pressure is needed to achieve those darker shades. It did actually surprise me, and I also had to get used to controlling the pressure I applied in terms of the results it was giving me. I ended up completing this whole drawing only using this one pencil, and you can see how many different tones and shades are involved with a realistic drawing like this. And so for me to be able to get these results that consist of all these different shades and tones just from using this one pencil, that was something that stood out and that was really convenient. You might have also noticed that there isn't any grading scale on the Blackwing 602. I did a bit of research and found that the lead pretty much matches the similar qualities of a 3B pencil, and I can see why by how the actual pencil performed. I had to sharpen it quite often, which wasn't much of a problem. If you're creating realistic drawings anyways, you want to make sure that the pencil is always sharp. You quite often get pencils where the lead will snap easily when you are sharpening them or even using them. I never had that problem with this pencil at all, even when I was using it and sharpening it to a really fine point. But it's the fact that this pencil didn't have me wishing that I could change to a darker or lighter one, because this had it all covered, and that's something that I found to be really useful. Writing with it and also creating more technical drawings, along with the more realistic and detailed style of artwork that I was creating, overall I was just always happy with the results. It's no surprise that the lead is of high quality, and you can feel this when you are using it as well. The way the pencil glides across the paper, and also how the lead lays down onto the drawing surface. It didn't take me long at all for me to get the hang of using this pencil. I was just really enjoying using it. The eraser on the end of the pencil can detach and be replaced. However, I think I would have easily used up most of the pencil before the eraser would even need replacing, but it's still a cool feature to have. Also, one thing that I noticed was that there was a bit of weight at the end of the pencil due to this eraser, but it wasn't a big problem. Sometimes, depending on how you hold the pencil, it can sometimes be a bit off balancing, but it's easily resolved because you can just take out the eraser at the end of the pencil and then it makes it a lot lighter to work with. It's not really much of a problem. A friend of mine who uses this pencil said he prefers the slight weight at the end because it's better to work with, so it really comes down to personal preference. You might find that it's also a little bit bigger than some existing pencils out there, so I suppose in some way you are getting more for your money. Because when it comes to money, these do have a higher price point than most pencils that are out there, and I mean, it's nothing insane like the original ones used to sell for. I don't know who'd pay $40 for one pencil anyways. However, a full set of 12 Blackwing 602s are usually around £29 on Amazon, which is about $23 I think. So they are more expensive than some of the other brands that are out there, especially if you want to get a full set of 12. However, I think if you can go over to eBay or something, you should be able to find like one of the pencils separately, so you can buy one of them, test it out and then see if you like it before investing into a full set. But I think you pay that much not only for the pencil's reputation but also for the quality and the reliability. I'd definitely recommend trying these out, but as the title states, are these really the best pencils in the world? I think they're definitely a contender. I mean, there's so many different pencil brands out there, and so it's going to be hard to test every one of them out, but up to now it's definitely up there, and it mainly comes down to personal preference as well. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've used these or you've got your own opinion on these, remember to share it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.